Alright guys, what are we doing today? Well, we're on the KZ 650. It's cold out, it's like 46 degrees, but I wanted to take the bike out because I did a bunch of maintenance on the bike, and what a better time to test it in the cold weather, right? So it's sunny out, basically a little windy, but I wanted to be out. I had to change the fuse box, I had to upgrade it, having a problem with the fuse box. I had to fix the calipers, not fix them, the dust boot, the retaining ring I couldn't find for a long time, and I finally got them, so I got that straightened out because you got to have dust boots, otherwise your the pistons and the calipers are just going to get destroyed. So I fixed that, changed the oil, the carbs I guess were sitting 2 years. The bowl gasket started to seep a little bit, they were just seeping out, so I put new bowl gaskets on, and yeah, she started up okay. It's a little cold, cold weather, I'm sure, carbureted bikes not so good, but I don't have to choke on. It's idling nice, it's running good. But the reason, I had it this time, I came up with a reason to talk about, something with the video, because I usually just pop on the bike and something comes into my head. But like the title says, do we need more than one bike? And what's the right number? How many bikes do we really need? And I'm going to jump on the bike and I'm going to talk about that. I'm not on the triple, as you guys can see, right? So I'm got my winter gloves on. Yeah, we're gonna put this on one, because it's not terribly cold out. Not like what's that, Fly and Ride? You guys, if you're watching this, man, 25 degrees out. You guys are riding. I don't know if I'd do that. Okay, gloves are on. So yeah, I tell you, it's a good-looking bike. I just we'll talk more about it as we go. I know you guys like tuning for the street triple and stuff and newer stuff, but it's a cool bike, guys. You got to admit, isn't it a cool bike? It just doesn't have the performance of the new bikes. But anyway, let's talk about how many bikes we need. Yeah. So I don't know where we're going to go. We're just going to cruise. Sounds good. You come off the gas a little bit, just real quick. You can just click it into next gear. You don't need the clutch. But yeah, so the question of the day: how many bikes do we need? And do we need another one? At least, do we need another one? Well, I have to say yes. We need another one. We absolutely need another bike, just so you can have the yin and the yang, the difference. Like, my triple is kind of my all-around bike. I really like the bike. My GS was the all-around bike for a while, but I wanted something a little bit more sportier and something different. There's my buddy. He's probably looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing out on a 45-degree day that's windy? Because he looks at me like I got two heads. He says, I don't know what's wrong with you. Anyway, so let's talk more about why we need two bikes. At least two bikes. Is that you just need the difference. I mean, you need totally different bikes. Like, if I could just have two bikes, I don't know what I would. I need more than two bikes, and I'm going to explain to you why. But I like the sporty bikes. I like something that's stupid fast, and there's something I can just cruise with. And this is kind of my cruising bike, really. I mean, I had a Harley Sportster, and I traded it. That was my buddy. In fact, it was his, and I traded it for some. We just did a trade on it, and I had it for a couple months, and it was a good-looking bike. It sounded good, but it didn't ride good. It didn't stop good. It didn't handle good. It really didn't do anything good, and it was a 2006. This bike is almost 30 years older than it, and it does everything so much better. And it's just so old. I mean, it's comfortable. I mean, I'm in a straight-up position pretty much. The handlebars are not like they were from the factory. I'm not going to say they're like totally aggressive, but they're just pretty straight. But it's comfortable, and it's got so much more power than that was an 883. So maybe if I had a 1200, it probably would be a little bit better. But whatever. So it was what I wasn't impressed with it at all. I liked the paint on it. I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it sounded. But that was where it was just nothing. It was done. So yeah. So this is kind of my cruiser bike. This is the bike I just cruise with. It doesn't like going fast. It doesn't handle like my my street triple. Doesn't handle anything like my whatchamacallit, my GS, or any of the bikes I've had. It doesn't handle as good as my Speedmaster did, and that was a cruiser bike. But it's a fun bike. It's just a fun bike. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't beg you to go fast. You just cruise. You get, lots of people like to talk about it when you go to the gas station. So it's just a cool bike, And if you can get one that runs good, which this one does, it's not super fast, but it's fun. And so, I'll get back to my my topic. In the perfect world, I think we need 4 bikes in a perfect world, if we can keep them. But a lot of guys that make comments and everything, you guys all have 2 bikes. A lot of you guys, and they're very different from they're not the same. They're very different. And I think that's why we need 2 bikes, because you have to have bikes that are different. And so, guys, I'm looking for something that's stupid fast, and basically in a straight line. I don't need it to be super handling, but I could look at the VMAX. I don't like the way they look, so it's not something that's a stupid fast bike in a straight line. But I just don't like the way it looks, so it just doesn't appeal to me. So I'm leaning towards the ZX14 or maybe an older Blackbird. The Hayabusa would fit my bill if the seating position wasn't so aggressive. I mean, the ZX14, they look the same as the ZX14, but you're much more stretched out. You're much more stretched out on a Hayabusa. I just don't want to deal with that. So I did have a good deal on a ZX14 2016, but the dealer sold it, but the price was really, really good. But I wasn't sure. I said, you know what, I'm just going to wait, and it went because the price was good. So there's a Blackbird I'm looking at. We'll see what happens. But getting back to why we need 2 bikes is because we just need that, because you got to get bored after a while riding the same bike. Now, I know after riding this bike, when I get on the street triple, I'm just going to be so pumped when I get on the street, because tomorrow's supposed to be pretty nice, so I'll be on the street triple tomorrow, and I'm just going to say, wow, what a difference. And but that's what's kind of cool of having a couple different bikes. And I feel the weight of this bike, which I don't feel it in the triple. I mean, this bike is like 460 pounds or something. I just like going through the gears because I love a 4-cylinder. I just love a 4-cylinder. I just love the way it sounds and the way it revs. But like I said, it's not like super powerful. Whoa, little stick on the road there. You won't you don't get the power until the torque doesn't peak out until about 7 grand. So about 6,000 you really kind of feel the power, and then it just kind of falls off. But I tell you, since I've done all my upgrades on this motorcycle, I know I'm going off a little bit, but the bike is really, really nice. It accelerates with no issues whatsoever with these pod filters. Super smooth. Yeah, it's just super smooth. And handling wise, well, I don't feel as confident on this as I do with the triple, no doubt about it. But yeah, so that's the ideal. I think we definitely need 2 bikes. I'd love to hear your comments that we definitely need 2 bikes. I mean, obviously, if you can't afford it and you don't have the room, you can't. But if you had an option, 2 bikes would be ideal, wouldn't it? Well, my ideal, I'm going to bring it a little bit further. My ideal would be 4 bikes. And let me tell you why. I know 4 bikes. Why do we need 4 bikes? Well, you definitely need your all-around bike, that your go-to bike. You want your go-to bike, whatever it is. Right now, my street triple's my go-to bike. But then I want something that's stupid fast. Scares the shit out of me. Stupid fast. Not going to ride it all the time. Just once in a blue moon. Well, maybe not once in a blue moon, but, want to be stupid on it. So that's for me. I want a stupid fast bike. Comfort is not key. And then I want my all-around bike. But then I think I want a cruiser. I know, guys, I said, I always say I'm not into the cruisers. I'm not into the baggers, but cruisers I like. Like, I like the breakouts or the whatchamacallit, the Fat Boys and stuff like that, but they're just so overpriced, and they're just so overpriced. And just not my cup of tea.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just thanking that guy. Wait, they're overpriced, and I like the Indy and the new Chiefs. A real nice cruiser. I'm not a bagger guy. I like cruisers, but to me, the ideal cruiser for me, and I don't want to spend. It's not going to be new, so it's going to be leftover or used. But I don't want to spend over 20 grand, 15,000, something around that. But the cruiser I would like to have is a Rocket 3 or a Ducati Diavel. That's the cruisers I like. They're made for just a cruising, relaxing, but they got nice power. So there's my cruiser. I mean, if I got a great price on a Breakout or a Fat Boy, I would probably have one as my other, as one of my 4 bikes. But they hold their value, and but baggers are out. I'm not into the bagger look. I just don't like baggers. I don't like all that fairing stuff. I don't like that. And then I would have to have, so that's my 3rd bike. So my 4th bike I have to have is, I think I have to have something like this, a nostalgia bike. An old bike to make me appreciate how far motorcycles have come, how far the tech has come. And the old bikes, you have to admit, now I'm not a big fan of the bikes from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, even the 50s and 60s. Some 60s, yes, but I love the way the 70s bikes look. The 70 Japanese bikes are the muscle cars of the 60s. They were fast. I think they were cool looking. And but I mean, obviously that's just subjective opinion. But yeah, this is just so nice. And yeah, so that would be my 4 bikes. So I would have a nostalgia bike like this, which I have, and it's my brother's. He's been gracious enough to, it's both of our bikes. We split it down the middle with it. I did the restoration and we just split everything. But he's been gracious enough to let them keep it at the house and let me ride it all the time, because he's just not going to ride this type of bike. He's more into his Indian, the big old wagger. He likes that type of bike. So, and I'm fine with this. And so I have this. I got my Street Triple, which is absolutely great, but I want 2 more bikes. There's no doubt about it, And who knows? Another GS might be in my future, which could be my all-around bike, because I'm starting to hear really good things about the 1300. But we'll see. I'm going to wait a year or 2 before I get back into a GS. But the GS was the most impressive motorcycle I've ever ridden. It just, the things that it could do. The Street Triple is a good all-around bike, but it has some shortcomings as far as if I decide to go for a long trip, it's not going to be as comfortable, But then again, the GS was not as engaging as the Street Triple. But the GS I loved. I just think it's been a great bike. So then that would be my all-around bike, or who knows, another maybe a Hyper Naked. But I also want something that's stupid fast. How many bikes do we need? Do we need more than one? And how many do we really need? And I need 4. And when I get settled whenever that happens, hopefully soon, I will have 4 bikes. I'm gonna have this one. I'll have my all-arounder. Like, hopefully I'll still have the Street Triple, and I'll have something stupid fast. And maybe I'll pick up a cruiser someplace if the price is right. But the price has got to be right for the cruiser. I'm not spending $25,000 on a brand new Harley or anything like that. I got to find the right price. And Harleys tend to, and especially when they're clean, and a lot of guys do lots of things to Harleys, so, and that doesn't hurt the value. Like with these fast bikes, the stupid fast bikes, the Super Sports and the DX14, guys do a lot of work to them to make them faster. I mean, they're fast as it is, but they lose value then. Harleys don't lose value because you're not beating it up like you're just making it look nice. So that, I'll give it to Harley for that. But I do like the cruiser look. I definitely do like the cruiser look, and I'd like to have one. But at the present time, if I'm only going to have 2 bikes, I'm going to have this one, and I'm going to have my Street Triple, and that's going to be my bikes for now until I figure out a place where I can put all this stuff. And yeah, but yeah. So that's it, guys. I'm going to be hopping on the Street Triple tomorrow. And I don't know what we'll talk about. I'll talk about something. But anyway, thanks for dropping by. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how many bikes we really need. Later, guys.